Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to my homestead. Today, for our Friday chat, I thought we would talk about kids on the homestead. Not necessarily the benefit of kids on the homestead, because of course there are tons of advantages and amazing things about raising your kids on a homestead. I thought I would talk about the romanticized version of kids on the homestead and how that's totally and completely not accurate. So, while yes, there are some really sweet moments of kids on the homestead, and I'm about
Now you do ducks.
now you can do the ducks.
Do you hear that? I hear something.
What do you hear? Should we go see?
Didn't. Oh, that's the rooster. Hey, I'm not scared of you. Hey! Hazel told me now here.
Oh yeah, I see that. Okay.
They should doing the thing, but too late. Oh, she's watching. How many did we get?
I don't know. You gotta count them.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
All right.
7
Seven,
again.
huh?
7.
It is definitely a challenge. While a friend and I were talking on the phone this week, just for a little while, we were catching up. She's a homeschooling mama who runs her homestead. Her husband works full-time off the farm. And I'm also a full-time homeschool mama who also runs a homestead. And my husband works full-time off the farm. So we pretty well, both of us, and I have tons of friends who are like this. This is certainly not a shocking thing. We were just chatting away, and suddenly she's yelling at her kid, drop that chicken, and you just think about like these cute little kids snuggling with these adorable little animals, and that is not always the case. So a lot of the time we're telling our children to stop torturing our animals. My son, my 7-year-old, he really likes to see how things react. So he's not usually a malicious child at all. Like, in fact, that's the part of this thing from the truth. He really cares about hearts. He really cares about people. But he wants to know how things like, if I do this, then what's going to happen? And he gets the biggest kicks. So like, we have some ducks, and of course ducks dip their head in the water to their nose. Basically, they clean out their nose, and they usually eat their food underwater or near water. So he wants to see, okay, well, what happens if I put their head in the water? Of course bubbles happen. So while he's not trying to kill the duck, he has absolutely no concept of what's going to happen to the duck. We've caught him doing things like that before. So most of the time our children are not actually unaccompanied by an adult in the barnyard. But I think that's like a huge myth in homesteading. Like, you can just let your kids go feed the animals and it's all hunky-dory, but that's very much not been my experience. So I have found the best way to get great homesteading kids who actually want to help out is to always say yes. So if they ask to help, especially when they're little, if you can catch them like when they're like 2 years old or younger, and maybe if you move from a city and then you all want to do a farm together, then the kids have more excitement and appreciation for a farm. But when you grow up on a farm, it's a little bit different. Like, it's sometimes pulling teeth getting my kids to come out and do chores with us. I see you. Oh yeah, got a little chilly last night.
What?
Maggie, those are your snow boots, babe, not your rain boots.
I'll do these. And here.
I don't want you to get water inside of them.
I don't.
ahead, Eli. Go ahead. Ben, go feed your bunnies. Why don't you have hold on. Hold up. What is that?
Rabbit chickens.
That's not enough. You have to fill it. Eli, be nice.
There's the eggs in here, okay? The eggs are in here.
Whoops. But if you can get them doing chores at a young age and always telling them, yes, you can help me cook. Yes, you can, help me get eggs or whatever, although it is way slower and super inconvenient, especially when they're super tiny and always falling in the mud. Then later, when you ask them to help, they will be more apt to say yes. So I'm going to show you some footage of my kids doing the chores this morning and kind of what that looks like. They all help out. They all have to help out. It's not really an option. We all do the chores together, and that way they know what I expect. Everybody's working together. It makes chores quicker now, and it just, teaches them teamwork is really good, and they can, I think it helps them to appreciate what the work that their parents do to be able to bring in good fresh food, and it also teaches them to be able to care for something else outside themselves, to care for another animal, another life, and to appreciate those snuggles and those nice things. Also helps them build their stockman's eye, so they will know quicker when something is wrong with an animal. So if one of my kids tells me, hey mom, something's going on with this animal, I can almost always trust them to know, like, this is something is really wrong. Or when something exciting has happened, like a lot of times they're the first ones to get in the rabbit hutch and discover we've had new babies, and that's really exciting for them. They really enjoy being a part of the farm. But again, they leave gates open and goats run wild, or, the puppy escapes and runs down the road, or, things happen. So you just have to embrace the good with the bad and know that you're building something for the future. It's not just about today and the fact that they drug a whole bunch of mud in through the porch. It's about teaching them to be together, and that's why we love homesteading with our children. Hi, Stardust. Don't let him have eggs. What are you doing?
I would like to be with somebody else who can have them.
Maggie, maybe you should run with them. What? So I hope you guys have found this video to be helpful. I hope it helps you to say yes to your kids a little bit more often. And even though they make messes and they might mess things up a little, they might bring in dirt or let the goats run wild, I hope that it encourages you to include them. And even if you don't have a homestead and you just live a regular life, then teach them, bring them along with what you are doing in your daily life. Thank you guys so much for joining us today. We are going to have a lazy, comfy morning cooking together and have a tea party this afternoon. We will see you guys again next week.